Here I have the electrical diagram. I have all the contactors, all the lines, all the power sources, and all the components on one single schematic. However, the connections you see right here with the green lines, that's not realistic. This is just an entire layout. I'm going to be going through several illustrations like these where we see the connection made from how we power up the aircraft to normal operation to abnormal operation and failures. So let's just take a closer look at the schematic as a whole. Here, you can be a little intimidated by the entire electrical layout as it looks right here, but don't worry, let's take it one step at a time. In the bottom right here, you'll find all the main power sources, whether that be power sources used on the ground to make the aircraft independent of engine-driven generators, or it is main electrical supplies such as the engine-driven generators here, number 2 and number 1 respectively. We also have right here an emergency generator supplying emergency supply of power, as well as 2 batteries right here that provides power source for starting up the aircraft, the APU, as well as for emergency use. If we start down here at the bottom and we start with the main generators, we're looking at 2 engine-driven generators, Gen 1 and 2, and an APU generator, as well as a ground power unit. Generator number 1 here supplies AC power via its generator line contactor to AC bus 1, and from there, DC power is taken through a transformer rectifier unit, a TR, to DC bus number 1. DC bus number 1 supplies electrical power up to the DC battery bus, which then supplies power to the batteries. In the middle of the schematic right here, you will see a few extra buses, such as DC Essential Bus, DC Essential Shed Bus, AC Essential Bus, and AC Essential Shed Bus, as well as the AC Static Inverter and Emergency Generator. The entire diagram right here has feed lines in green, contactors which can either be open or closed based on the configuration, as well as an entertainment bus over here, which we're not going to get into detail about, but which is powered with 2 power sources for normal operation and use in the cabin behind it. The Airbus philosophy for electrical power is to use a split busbar system. From your ATPL knowledge, you might remember the difference between a split busbar and a parallel system. A parallel system uses 2 or more generators operating in parallel together, where they split the entire electrical distribution load 50-50 if it's 2 generators. But in a split busbar system, it is the physical busbars that are divided so that generator number 1 supplies its own busbar and its own loads, and number 2 its own busbar, its own loads. The manufacturers have then distributed the loads somewhat evenly between the busbars, but when the system operates in normal operation, it isn't shared 50-50 between the 2 generators. That requires a complex equalizing circuit between power sources, something that we have eliminated with a split busbar distribution system. Our electrical system here is therefore kept as simple as it can be. Although the generators don't share the load 50-50, it is close to it. But you also have the ability here to divide electrical loads into different busbars for redundancy. On electrical systems, it is common in modern aircraft to use classifications for electrical loads and then divide them between the different busbars. For that, we have 3 different classifications for electrical loads, depending or based on their importance in case of failure. Starting at the lowest category, which is non-essential. This includes electrical loads on the aircraft that we do not require in case we have an in-flight emergency. Such electrical loads could be entertainment systems in the cabin. It could be our galley operation, galley equipment, mood lighting, etc. in the cabin, as well as some of our systems which have multiple layers of redundancy. Non-essential loads are the first loads somewhat to be shedded in case we have electrical limited supply. Our AC and DC main buses are non-essential bus bars. Here you see AC non-essential bus 1, and here you see AC non-essential bus 2. Here you see DC non-essential bus 1 and DC non-essential bus 2. We don't call them non-essential, but that is what they are. Moving up to the next level of priority when it comes to electrical loads, that will be essential loads. Essential electrical loads are those which are required in case of an in-flight emergency. Such electrical loads includes systems for normal operation, flight peripherals such as PFD, ND, ECAM control panels, FCU, at least one channel. All these systems, as well as lighting systems, can and will be included in the essential category, whether that's AC or DC. If we have multiple systems for redundancy, let's say we have, for example, for comms, RMP1 and RMP2, well then RMP number 1 is an essential part of the electrical loading, but RMP2 and ACP2 is not. And so those loads might be shedded in case we have failures or need to decrease the electrical loading on the system. But we always have at least one of each system providing for a safe environment. Moving on to the last category, which is the most vital, hence the name vital busbar and vital loads. This includes electrical loads that we need after having, for example, performed a wheels-up emergency landing. It is, in this case, not necessarily the case that the aircraft is in one piece, and main generators may or may not be operating or even attached to the aircraft. In such cases, there are a handful of electrical components that are required to be operating for the safe evacuation of the aircraft, such as emergency lighting, communication and interphone systems, emergency broadcasting over the PA system, fire extinguishing systems, at least one fire agent extinguishing capability on each engine. These are required even if we don't have main electrical power supplies, and therefore they are connected directly to the battery. Vital loads sit on the vital busbar, also known as the hot busbar. As you can see here, the hot bus is connected directly to the batteries. There is no contactor between them. It's a hot wire connection. As for the essential loads, you will see AC essential loads here and DC essential loads here. These bus bars are separate from the non-essential bus bars.